I just want to talk a little bit about a situation that just recently occurred in Victoria in Australia.
Oh yeah, they've turned up today.
There was this women's march that ended up in pro-trans activists throwing eggs and water balloons and getting quote-unquote violent. About 20 normal women just popped out and went, "Hi guys, we just want to talk a little bit about women's rights." And 150 people took offense to this.
I'll just quickly, just before we start.
Projectiles were thrown at speakers and one arrested as protesters and counter-protesters faced off outside of the Parliament House in Melbourne on Saturday. As far as I can see, this seems to be a fairly peaceful protest. And when I mean that I think that everybody should be allowed to protest and say the things they want to say in a sense, that also means that if you're pro-trans, that means you're allowed to be saying what you want to be saying. But if you're against trans, you should be allowed to say that too. Especially if you're a woman that feels unsafe in women's spaces. That is okay. So it's kind of like saying, I'm a dog, and I'd like there to not be cats scratching at my eyes in my little doggy bed. And then the cats go, meow, fuck you. Fuck you for hating cats. Meow. But when the cats say, I don't want any dogs in my cat bed, then the dog should be accepting it.
Safeguarding and how these two are being grievously injured by certain policy and legislation is a crucial purpose for Women Will Speak. Okay, so before I call for speakers, I just want to run through a few housekeeping, if you can hear me. Can you put your hand up? Can you hear me, everyone? Yeah, great. Awesome, thank you. Okay, I know it's hard to do, but, you know, here's a challenge for you. Ignore the counter-protesters. We are not here for them, okay?
The fact that this woman is able to just say, ignore the counter-protesters, we're not here for them, we're talking about our own issue, is an incredibly mature thing to do. And the fact that they're being attacked afterwards by saying and stating what they have to say shows an incredible hypocrisy on the other side. They should be allowed to say what they want to say, but you're not allowed to say what you want to say. It's one rule for me, it's one rule for thee. Everybody gets offended every now and then. Everybody does. Like, I wouldn't want to take something up my butt. But, see the joke there? That doesn't mean you shouldn't. But you shouldn't tell me that I have to take something up the butt. And I shouldn't have to tell you that you can't take something up the butt.
There are people here today that may think and possibly say things that Women's Action Group do not agree with, and vice versa. Welcome to the real world! Okay. Okay, who is the first speaker?
And when I asked the Minister for Women to confirm the definition of a woman, she won't. The Labor Party, this Labor government, none of them will confirm the definition of a woman. It's a disgrace. I am here to stand up for women's rights.
I'm not going to go into this whole conversation about what a trans person is or what it isn't. What I want to say from the bottom of my heart is, if women are feeling uncomfortable, why aren't you just allowing them to have a space for themselves? That's what you're asking for. You're asking for a space for you. So why are you not being okay with the women asking for a space for them? You can't have it one way or the other. It's kind of like you plant a tree, and when the tree grows big and big and big and takes in all the sunlight, you get grumpy because there's no sunlight. But you still want the tree. But you want the sun. So what do? You either take down the tree, you trim the tree, or you find a different place for the tree.
Safe places for women. On the steps of this parliament, they should be a safe place for all women. I'm here to ensure that we have sport for female-only participants and elite athletes and children. I'm here to argue for single-sex toilets, safe places in schools for young girls. And I'm here to fight that we don't use chemical and medical procedures to change the sex or attempt to of underage children. That is child abuse. It is criminal that we suggest that parents, medical and faith practitioners should go to jail or be fined if they caution against transitioning for underage children. This has to stop. It is being stopped around the world, but the Royal Children's Hospital is leading the way. I'm sorry you have to not have a safe place where you have to have those on the other side try and shout you out. That is so wrong in this democracy. Rest assured, I do all I can in that place, out in the electorate, to make sure your voice is heard.
It's an argument-shaped object, I hear you ask. Well, an argument is an attempt to persuade you of something that I believe is the truth, using reason and logic.
Quoting this woman, an argument for me is to persuade you of something using reason and logic. And reason and logic seems to be used in this particular rally. You should absolutely be allowed to say what you want to say. And if I can reason with you as a human being, a reasonable human being, then me and you, we can have a great conversation. And if we have a great conversation, we will most likely to some degree get along, or at least not fight each other. And I'd love to laugh with you and have a great time with you, whatever walk of life. But you can't be hating on the people that are trying to protect themselves. I mean, it's like my mom and dad used to beat me when I was a kid. Oh, they didn't used to beat me. And then you get all angry because their dad and mom didn't used to beat them. And like, oh, why didn't they beat you? That's unfair. Like, what, be happy. Be happy that somebody had a better childhood. Be happy that somebody has a good time. Don't be a grumpy sourpuss because somebody had a better time. Like that's just bleh.
An argument-shaped object is something that someone uses when they want to persuade themselves that they just won the argument, or when they want to persuade their friends that they just won the argument. I'll give you an example. Here's an argument-shaped object. Lesbians are sexual racists. That's not an argument. That's an argument-shaped object because it has no reason behind it. It's trying to link something, women's same-sex attraction to other women, with something else that is socially unacceptable. People use this to persuade themselves of something they really emotionally need to find an excuse to believe.
One thing I want to take up is the music. The music seems to be blaring from the trans rights activists, which is, in my opinion, a blatant act of disrespect, not allowing them to talk. That would be akin to me coming up to the stage and shouting, yeah, 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 in your ear as you're trying to talk to a whole bunch of people. Instead of coming with a reasonable argument for why this is not a good thing, it's just about disruption of peace. It's just about disruption of the flow of the conversation, which is an incredibly dangerous and scary thing. It reminds me of a child having a temper tantrum because you're not doing exactly what they want to do. Okay, imagine, if you don't have a child, imagine your little sister or your little brother. They're coming up, they have a crayon or a colored pencil. They look at you and they go, come, let's play. Ooh, yay, let's draw something nice. You're saying, no, I can't be drawing now. I'm doing homework or I'm doing some work. And they go, yeah, yeah, wah! And they don't stop until you stop your work or your homework to go and play with them. Because that's how they've learned to get attention, by being disruptive. These are these kids grown up.
Bye, everyone.
I've been fighting MMA and Muay Thai, not professionally, but I've been training it for many, many years. And I'm not particularly fond of a violent approach to a intellectual debate. If somebody punches you, of course you smack them back. If somebody breaks your nose, go for it. Smack him, crack him, whack him, dack him, sock him, rock him. Doesn't matter. But if you're trying to have a normal conversation, some fuckers are throwing eggs, that's where you gotta bring out the pea shooters, the BB guns, the stun guns, the pew 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 boom. Oh yeah, and by the way, subscribe for more.